And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here?
like this guy here.
Is this
No,
is this really happening? You met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now that you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
but you're more in the category like rhetoric and Arnold. Okay?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can
first.
you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How
I
do you do it?
mean,
Teach
the
me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes. But
Wait, hold up.
You got-
I gotta
when
try
it's
this
time-
with
when
you.
it- when it's
Hold
time
on.
to laugh,
I gotta try
you
this
gotta
with
think of
you.
something funny
All
and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Today on voter results, election results 20, day 20. Welcome. I'm kidding. It's not day 20. It's only day what, 2, 3? Something like that? 2, 3? Something like that. It don't matter. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. You know, aside from all the BS, aside from us all just trying to figure out what the hell is going on, what are the actual results, what is going on, it is still a blessing to be on this planet. It's still a blessing to be up, alive, and kicking, breathing in this wonderful earth, if you will. You know, it is it has been quite a couple days, quite a couple 48 hours, I guess. And we're still trying to figure out what's going on. As James just said, it's the end of the world. I don't know if it's the end of the world quite yet. We are gonna see what's going on. There's a lot of protests that are starting to spark in the streets right now of all types. Everything from peaceful protesting, where people are saying, count the vote, which is confusing. Trump supporters out there protesting saying, count the vote, where Trump is actually tweeting, stop counting. And then we got other people out in the streets just running amok and causing chaos and vandalism. The question is, who is out there doing that? Is it Antifa? Is it BLM? Is it the weak, as they would say, the weak, sensitive, left-wing, Democrats? Or is it the Republicans, and the conservatives out there causing a ruckus out in the streets? Inquiring minds would like to know. But we are going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff that is going on today. There's a lot to talk about. If you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below. There's a lot to talk about. And if this is your first time checking out the show, crush that subscribe button. It would really mean a lot. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I do a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So come on, jump on and be a part of the convo today. Anyway, we got to jump into this. But before I do that, David's in the house. What's up, my brother? What's a guan?
Hey guys, everything's going good here. Just tired from the election. I think I'm like everyone else that just wants to wake up and see it resolved at this point.
Yes, I feel you. I it doesn't matter. I don't even give a damn. I don't care about who wins at this point. All I care about is having an actual result so that we can move on with our lives. We already been dealing with this for months and months and months. We've been sitting back idly by, watching these guys gesticulate, passionately in front of a microphone, saying that they're going to do X, Y, and Z, or say that they're going to maintain the status quo. And I'm now at that place where I'm going, okay, where is the beef? You know what I'm saying? I just want to know who's going to run this country for the next 4 years so I can just get on with it. Either be terrified or be terrified. Either one. I just want to know what to expect so we can keep this balls moving. You feel me? So, of course, we got to sit back and wait and see what's going on. But before, we go into like election results and all that stuff, because we will be talking about that. Obviously, we'll be talking about that until the results are actually thrown out to us. We got to talk about what's going on in these streets, man, in these streets. All right. Straight up. There's some stuff that's going on, y'all. There's some protests that are going on. Now, I know that David has one of them. I'm going to throw it over to David. David, the hell's going on?
All right. Well, there's some stuff going on in Denver yesterday with 11 people got arrested, and a lot of buildings are vandalized, windows busted, and all of that. And they were mostly wearing black. They had weapons and such. They took a pistol, several knives, and mace canisters. And the people they arrested were carrying a sign that said "Death to fascism and to the liberalism that enables it."
Say what? I'm sorry. What?
Death
That doesn't.
to fascism and the liberalism that enables it.
I just. To me, that sounds like an oxymoron. But at the same time, it's kind of like, so then who is that? Clearly, that's not liberals, right? Right?
I would guess not. No.
Yeah, that's not what I think. That's exactly what I think. I mean, I don't know. It is weird for that to be a protest sign. That is very weird to me. Hey, damn those fascists and the liberals that enable them, huh? But you remember, there's a lot of people out here. There's a lot of conservatives out here that'll sit there and say, say black liberals are still on the plantation, that they have not disconnected from the matrix. You know what I mean? They haven't taken their red pill, and therefore they're still stuck on the plantation picking cotton for good old massa. So there's a lot of people out there that think that in their heads, and it's very interesting. So clearly that's not, I would say that's not liberals out there running around, running amok in Denver, as you said, right? In Denver. And that's very... Oh, God. That's very interesting. Now, I know that there's been things going on in Detroit. This is very interesting, too. So there is... this title that I'm reading from FoxNews.com, it says, locked out Detroit Republican vote challengers furious over lack of access. So there are, a crowd gathered outside of the TCF Center in Detroit as election officials told dozens of Republican vote challengers, that they could not re-enter the room because it was over capacity. So Michigan Trump Victory Deputy State Director Drew Thompson. Wow, that's a big, long title. Michigan Trump Victory Deputy State Director Drew Thompson shared images on Twitter of the building's doors, which were locked from the inside by police. And I quote, he said, Detroit election officials are currently refusing to let the public observe the counting process at the TCF Center. This is what Thompson wrote. They have padlocked the doors. This is a disgrace to the democratic process. And there's a whole bunch of images, which I'm probably going to try to throw up here so that we can see this for ourselves as well. And this is going on in Detroit. Now, this is also, from my understanding, they are also like saying, hey, let us in. They're chanting, let us in. They're chanting like voter fraud, stop the vote. They're saying a gang of different things. Now, I'm just going to pull this up for everybody to see. One second. Oh, damn. All right. So here it is in all its glory. So these are the images that you see right here. As you can see right here. So they're refusing to let anybody let the public observe the counting process in the center. Like I just read a second ago, they have padlocked the doors. This is a disgrace to the democratic process. And these are all the images, as you can see. They definitely padlocked the doors. You can see, obviously, there are people outside down here, as you can see over here, basically saying, hey, let us in. I have a little bit of a technical problem here I got to fix real quick. There we go. Fixed. All right. So as you can see, big trouble in little Detroit. Because as you can see, this is something that happened earlier yesterday.
And get more benefits.
What the hell?
Call Coverance Insurance now. Call 800-818-8863. That's 800-818-8863.
Gotta love that. Well, I guess we could check this out while we're at it.
This is a concerted effort of the crooks that run the Democrat Party. And you know these big city machines are crooked. You know that. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years of one-party rule leads to corruption of all kinds. Voter fraud is one of the biggest because that's how you keep your power. But we're not going to let them get away with it.
The Trump campaign filing lawsuits in multiple states to make sure every vote that's counted is legal. Case in point, Pennsylvania, where the counting continues. Another round of results expected any moment, in fact, and we are expecting to hear from the Trump campaign there shortly. In the meantime, let's bring in Alex Vogel. He was a recount lawyer for Bush Cheney 2000 and is a former general counsel for the Republican National Committee. In other words, he knows a lot about this stuff. Just a short time ago, Alex, good to see you, by the way, sir. The president tweeted, any vote that came in after Election Day will not be counted. And of course, that's what we're talking about here because they are counting those votes in Pennsylvania. In your estimation, these lawsuits going forward in Pennsylvania and in Georgia and in Michigan and now this one that is rising up in Nevada, do they stand a chance? Do they have a case?
Well, they're important, and let me break it down this way. There's really three different pieces to this. There's the recount requests in places like Wisconsin, which
oh, come on.
That's totally normal, and any campaign within the required margin can and should do so. Then there are the operational challenges and lawsuits, like the observers. And then there are the structural arguments. The structural cases, should ballots be counted that came in after a deadline? Can the deadlines be changed?
What's going on? Come on. They don't want us to see this, man. They don't want us to see this. Come on. Okay, that's interesting. That just happened.
All right.
Well, okay. They don't want us to see this, but obviously you get the gist of it. Things are going down. Obviously, Rudy Giuliani is ready to bring fire and brimstone to wherever they go, to whatever the situation is. He is not having it. Clearly, is not having it. Tanny Vane, what do you think, man? David, what do you think?
Yeah, I expect legal battles all over the area. Giuliani's probably going to be the head of his kind of PR in that regard, and I mean, they're already asking for them in Michigan and Wisconsin, and a lot of the places are actually close enough that they might happen by default. Like with how close Georgia is, that might automatically do a recount. I think Michigan is still really close. That might be close enough to trigger one, but he's also got teams out there looking for fraud and investigating all these areas. I mean, Biden does too. So they both have teams all over the country checking every allegation of fraud at these election areas.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have teams. Both sides have teams that are literally observing, watching from afar. There are teams that are actually in Michigan watching people count on both sides. They got a Biden team and a team for Trump standing there watching every single vote be counted. It's insane. It's insane. I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Especially like if Trump goes straight off right off the bat after not even the votes, all the votes are brought in, right? He is quick to go in and say, I already won. I won. I don't understand. But then he starts saying, this is fraudulent. There's something not right here. This is fraud, right? He says that. Of course, Biden's going to have his team out there observing every single count as well. If he's going, well, shoot, if he's bringing a team, I'm bringing in a team too, because I don't trust Trump. Just because he's saying it's fraudulent, who's to say that he doesn't have some guy in there maybe intimidating or trying to grease some elbows that might go, oh yeah, 2 for, 1 for Biden, 3 for Trump. There's those possibilities as well. So of course Biden's going to go, all right, we both have teams. We're both going to do this. And yeah, both of us are going to be ready to go with all the lawyers. We already know this. You know what I mean? That's a given. We already know this.
And a lot of the key places, especially in, I think, New York and Michigan right now, they have not just election watch or poll watchers there. They also have given access to multiple news agencies to just live stream the whole thing. So if there's an area near you that is contested, you might be able to watch a live feed of the counting and see if there's any weird stuff going on for yourself.
Yeah, it's this situation is very funky. It is very funky. And it's going to be funky until there's an actual answer. But what's funny is that we're going to have this issue forever. Whoever gets voted in or gets reelected, we're going to have this issue forever. That's a guarantee. Doesn't matter. If Trump wins and gets reelected, people are going to sit there and say, oh, well, the voter fraud stuff. They're going to hang it over his head, too. They didn't have to recount, blah, blah, blah. There's going to be people who are going to say that. Then on top of that, if Biden wins, they're going to hang voter fraud over his head, too. It doesn't matter. It's going to be like with Bush and Gore. When Gore initially won and then he lost. You see what I'm saying? Then it's like, Gore was president for 5 seconds. But he was supposed to be our president because of X, Y, and Z. Not Bush Jr. So, it's interesting that this is going to be, no matter what, no matter the outcome, both parties are going to be tarnished because of this. And let's just say that there is voter fraud. Let's talk about that really quick. What if there is voter fraud? Do you honestly think that it is Biden's doing? Do you honestly think that it's Trump's doing? Or do you think that there's somebody out there that is just trying to get Trump out? Or Biden? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that all the mail-in ballots are kind of coming, are like it's all going towards Biden, and his votes are just skyrocketing. I mean, it's almost like a straight shot up from what the graphs I've seen. That, of course, social media is not allowing to put up.
I will say, of all the claims to any sort of fraud or questionable counting, those graphs are the only thing that strikes me as completely weird, because it is a literal vertical jump, saying that every vote that came in with some of them were like 100,000 vote stretches or 180,000 vote stretches that were all Biden. And there could be, an accounting error. There could be bad math going on or something like that. But it's very suspicious, and I do want that one to be looked into. It's not like the other claims of Sharpies invalidating your ballot when that's an authorized thing to use for the ballot. But this one seems to have some legitimacy to it. So I'd like to see the data more.
Yeah, I'd like to see the data too, because as much as I want everything to be done in the most honorable way possible. There are parts of me that feel like I don't know. I don't know. A part of me feels like Trump would do anything to win. As much as we like to think, as much as like anybody out here might think, Trump is right, Trump is the way, Trump is blah, blah, blah. I feel like there's a lot of people out here that are thinking he'll do anything to win. He will do anything, whatever it takes to win. And the other thing is that I noticed that somebody, Mr. Tootle, Mr. G Tootle, just said the Russians did it. Now the thing is did the Russians help him last election? Allegedly. So it's funny if they helped him last time, but they're helping Biden this time. It doesn't make sense. Just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. And I also find it very funny that, back then in 2016, everyone was quick to say that Trump cheated, right? With help with collusion with Russia, whatever. And it's funny how now he's going, hey guys, I know something fraudulent's going on. What? Doesn't make any sense to me. What if he really is getting voted out and that's it? What if people do not want him in office? What if the Trump supporter voice just happens to be really loud, but isn't backed by enough people? What if? We also talked about this last night. Apparently, there was a lot of Biden's voters were 18 to 25. There's a lot of young kids out there that feel some type of way about how Trump is running this country. So I wouldn't be surprised if brand new voters, like we talked about last night, brand new voters that weren't able to vote in 2016 are now able to vote in 2020, and they feel some type of way. They may have lost a family member to coronavirus. They may have lost their nice, cushy job, and they have to move back into their parents' basement again. Try getting laid doing that. That ain't fun. There's a lot of people that feel some type of way about this. For sure. Try to throw in a joke in there. I didn't think it landed, but anyway, we're going to run with it. But imagine, that would piss me off. 18 to 25-year-old kid. I'd be angry. I'd be like, man, this is my chance I want to get laid. I want my job back. F it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it might be. So it's just, to me, there's a lot of things that are coming up where people are going, where Trump and his team, his supporters and all that are going, we don't get this. No, get it. Look at it. There might be some weird stuff going on, sure. But you cannot say that there are all these kids that are now new voters. Yes, there are some hardcore Trump supporters for sure at the age of 18 to 25 for sure. There are. But at the same time, there's a lot of other people out here that are not happy about how he has been running this country, and they're first-time voters. In fact, I know, and I said this on the last few streams we did yesterday. We did 3, by the way. There are people that are friends of mine that said, this is the first time I've ever voted. This is the first time I ever felt like my vote actually counted. And they're well beyond their 20s. So there's new people that are coming out. There were people that didn't come out in 2016 because they felt like none of those candidates actually spoke for them. Same people that voted during the Obama era went out of their way to vote because they felt like their vote counted. Then suddenly they come back again in 2020. Why? Because maybe they're not happy with how things have been running, or they want to maintain how things have been running. They're out. They're doing their thing. So, like I said, this voter fraud conversation is very interesting. But one thing is, you have not seen Trump out in front of a podium, out in front of a mic since the night that since election night. He has not, and all he's doing is riling people up on Twitter. And is that helpful? Is that uniting the country? Is that keeping the country calm? Don't worry, I'll wait. Because we got a couple other protests to talk about to prove otherwise. We're just talking about Detroit. We're just talking about Denver. There's still a couple more. Interesting, right?
I do. There's a few things in there I wanted to touch about.
Shoot, go ahead.
The one thing that people keep talking about with the Russian and the Chinese interference, like, I don't think that's taking place on the large scale where, you know, Trump is working with Putin or Biden is working with Xi. No, it doesn't have to be that way, because that's not how foreign influence usually goes. It's much cheaper and much easier just to find someone that's already radicalized, give them a little support, send them in the right direction, and you start either protests or some sort of action in your favor. And it doesn't matter if they're working for that actual, in the interest of that country, because they're delegitimizing the agency of America itself. And that's where I see most of the influence comes from, is on the smaller scale of just cheap, easy ways to influence people, buying ads and things like that. And for the fraud, it's mostly, I would say, on the small scale too. There could be, you know, some of these places have complete fake ballots coming in or whatever. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, every small case that has had a conviction, it's almost always been just an individual that was very passionate for their political party and thought they were doing something right by messing up the election. It's very rare. And there are alleged cases of vote fixers, you know, trying to go and, you know, gather votes and change them a certain way for parties. But at the same time, almost all those stories repeatedly mention that they're working both sides at the same time. They're making money off of both sides. So a lot of it is just, you know, other nations or individuals trying to take advantage of weak points to get their own views pushed through. And I think we see some of that. We saw some of that with the news, especially in the South. And Mr. Super mentioned this with more black people coming out to vote for Trump by a larger margin, mm-hmm. which is very true, especially in like, I think it was in ghettos specifically. And that wasn't seen by a lot of the news. And the same way that the Latino vote going to Trump wasn't seen by a lot of the news, even though Telemundo and Spanish networks were calling it completely accurately. They called the Cuban vote, they called the Venezuelan vote. And so it just seems like that those communities weren't even talked to by the English-speaking news, because they just had no idea that how it would go when Telemundo had it completely accurate just from a few interviews and polls. And lastly, I think that we'll probably continue to see the demographic change, possibly, because a lot of those 18 to 25 voters were white suburbanites, and especially in Ohio, Michigan, and I think Florida, Biden gained most amongst general suburban communities.
Interesting. Really? Interesting. Because, I mean, that's the one demographic that Trump was trying to get to, was the white suburbans, basically. Basically white, I mean, I guess suburban white women. There we go. And, you know, I don't know if they ended up going and still, I don't know if that demographic really listened to him and went and voted. But at the same time, that was something that he was aiming for. He was gunning for. I guess it didn't work out in that favor or in that way, you know. But, you know, we got to jump into this some more other protests, because there obviously is some more things, and we can talk about this. We could talk about the voting stuff and voter fraud till we're blue in the face, to be really honest. But obviously there's a lot of people out here that are still upset about everything. You know, there is Trump protests going on in Arizona as well. This is very interesting, too. Trump supporters protest outside of Maricopa County elections headquarters in Phoenix. Around 100 people gathered outside election headquarters as voters were being counted, or as votes were being counted on Wednesday night. So protesters were chanting, "Count the votes" and USA between speeches made by members of the crowd. So interesting. Arizona's 4th congressional district representative Paul Gosar attended the protest and addressed the crowd. He also tweeted encouraging supporters in Phoenix to join them. People were chanting, "We want Trump," and thousands of patriots seek justice. 65 million more across the country. Don't let them steal our votes. And then, of course, there's this big video of it. And let me pull this up so you guys can see this too. It's very fascinating. It's very, very fascinating. Fascinating as hell. The thing that he has, like, Trump has this amazing ability to get people riled up and want to cause a ruckus. It's really, really fascinating to me. Hold on one second. Come on. I guess that one's not working. Let me try this one. Let's check this out. Interesting. I mean, and this is what's going on outside of that particular place in Arizona. And you know, and of course, as things progress, these crowds are only going to get bigger and bigger. These protests are only going to be popping up in other cities, and they're going to get bigger and bigger. The only concern I have is that there are going to be people out there starting fights. Right now, it's peaceful. So far, it's peaceful. The worst thing that's happened so far was in Detroit, where they had to padlock the doors. They had to padlock those doors because people were trying to barge in while people are actually doing what they need to do, which is count every single vote. The other thing I find very interesting is, and I've said it already earlier this show, but I'm going to say it again. Trump has tweeted, "Stop counting." He has literally tweeted, "Stop the counting. Stop counting the votes." But we got Trump supporters out here in the streets saying, count every vote. It's confusing. It's really confusing. But they're going, count every vote. We want Trump, etc. So I guess they're getting what they want, which is them counting every single vote. But Trump, actually not last night, the night before, he was already saying to stop the counts. He was already saying stop counting. The night of the election, right after he said, you know, I won. He was saying stop the counting. He was saying it right then and there. But they hadn't even had the results from California. They didn't have the results from Washington. They didn't have anything. Nevada, Arizona. They didn't have anything from the West Coast. And he was already sitting there saying, stop the counting. Obviously, he was sitting there saying that he is seeing fraudulent counts. He's seeing things that are fraudulent. At least in his mind, they're fraudulent. So he's like, stop the counts. Stop counting. But, bruh, come on now. Come on. Come on. I say this. Why can't you just sit back? And this is for Biden or Trump. Why can't you just sit back, let them finish counting what they need to count, and just do what you need to do afterwards? Let them make the decision on who it is, who you feel, who they say is temporarily the president. And then order a recount. Once you start getting everything all mucked up during the counting of the official first count, you're going to get people like we've been seeing so far out in the streets protesting, getting angry, and violence will ensue. And if you don't believe me, just wait on it. Sit back, pop some popcorn, and watch me be right. And that's what sucks, because I don't want to see any violence. I'd rather them count the damn counts, say such and such is the president, is 2020 elect, such and such. And then they can go, hey, I want to recount all that stuff. But once you start going on the Twitter, once you start going on the microphones, once you start going, you know what I'm saying? Like once you start acting a damn fool, you start problems. You start problems. And that's exactly what Trump is doing. This is what he wants to happen. I'm sorry to say that. I know that people out here are hardcore supporters of Trump, love him to death and all that. I get that. And some of these people are part of the Pascal Show family, and I love all y'all. But these are the breaks, all right? This is what's really happening. He's doing this because he knows that this works. He wants people out in the streets. He wants the same thing. This is the same stuff that we've been dealing with for the past year now. Even before election stuff. He's trying to keep everything divided. This is the tactic that he does. I'm sorry to say that. But that is true. Take a look at it. Look at how Biden is approaching the situation. And I'm not sitting here saying that Biden's perfect. He is screwed up so many times. This man is not perfect. But at least he's going up and saying, hey, I'm here. It looks like I'm about to win. We don't know yet, but it looks like we're on the path to victory. I'm here for everybody. I'm here for all of us. Let's sit back and wait for the results. And I just want you to know, if it is true that I am the winner, that I am the president, I am here for both sides of the world. I'm not trying to tear this country apart. But then you look at what's going on Trump's side. And he's not in front of a microphone. He's using that Twitter. That is the instant way to get to all of his supporters, where all those people get really upset, start feeling some type of way. Next thing you know, we got protests going on in the streets in front of actual places where they're counting every single vote, causing distractions, causing possible future chaos. This is distractions that don't need to be happening right now while they're counting every single crucial vote. It's a huge distraction. This is what he wants. Sorry, y'all. This is what he wants. He needs to sit back, like I said, just do like Biden did. Sit back, relax, drink some tea, or eat a Big Mac with a large Diet Coke, and just chill. And wait for the full results. Wait for the full results and then react. And I get it. I get why he doesn't want to do full. I get why he doesn't want to do the full. He didn't want to do the mail-in ballots. I get it. Because coronavirus was heavily politicized. You have Republicans. There are still Republicans out there in this world. Oh my God, there's still Republicans out there in the world that would or have voted Trump, that still to this day think that coronavirus is still a hoax, that coronavirus isn't a real thing. Real facts, y'all. Those people don't give a damn about going to a ballot and actually physically going and voting in person. There's a lot of Republicans that don't mind going and walking into a building, risking themselves from getting sick to vote. But then there's a lot of Democrats, because it's been heavily politicized here. There's a lot of Democrats that are terrified of the Rona, terrified of the virus, coronavirus, scared of it. That are going, nah, I don't want to die. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get my family sick. I don't want to get my grandma or grandpapa sick with this Rona. So you know what? I'm just going to mail in. So I get it that Trump would be like, nah, man. You know, for a fact, everybody who mails in their ballot is going to be voting. That's guaranteed that they're not going to be willing to walk into a building. And those people are not Trump supporters. So he's already been doing the math. He already had that idea in his head. So why is he surprised if those votes, if those mail-in ballots are actually leaning more blue right now? And might I add, they still haven't finished counting. They haven't. Let me repeat that again. They still haven't finished counting, y'all. Because there's a lot of votes to count. Have mercy. So you don't even know. They might be going through a sloth of votes that are all Biden. Next thing you know, you might be seeing a whole bunch of red counts. You just never know. But I gotta be honest, he is definitely trying to do something with this by using his social media, by getting people riled up so that there's a distraction, so that there's upheaval in the streets. That's something that he's good at. And he has his Trumpsters out there, his soldiers. It's crazy. Anyway, thoughts, David? You're not speaking much, so.
Yeah, it's definitely. I don't know if he's doing it intentionally, but it's definitely a bad idea the way he keeps talking on Twitter and the language he chose with his speech, because it does give the implication that he's already won, and it makes his people his strong supporters will accept that, and they'll become angrier when he doesn't. As Biden is saying he's confident he'll win, but he's not telling them he's won. So there's definitely a distinct difference there, and I think Mr. G. Tootle made a good point that he was asking do you think this is just a lot of anger, a lot of people letting anger out? And I think that is a big part of it. It's
absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think it's really even a lot of it anyway, is really even directed at anything. Everyone's just angry that nothing's changed the way they want to, and it doesn't look like it's going to for anyone, really. Even if we get a different president, it's at least half the country doesn't think he's going to be providing what we need, and the other half of the country is, I feel like the Democrat side is definitely hesitant about what he will do, and they don't fully trust him either.
Yeah. In that, yeah. And here it is. No one can be trusted. None of them. Sorry. I've even said it before, and it kind of angered a couple people when I said, hey, vote for the dog that has the least amount of fleas, in your opinion, because both are corrupt. Sorry, but that's the truth. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to lie to y'all and not tell you what my personal truth is, and my personal thoughts are in regards to both candidates. Both are corrupt as hell. I'm sorry. They are. They're politicians. Even when Trump says he's not a politician, he a politician. Come on, y'all. Let's keep it straight. Let's keep it straight funky. All right. He a politician. All right. He's had 4 years to politic all day. He a politician. Okay. So it really is, at the end of it all, who you feel has the least amount of fleas. So when Biden gets voted in, or when Trump goes in, it doesn't really mean anything. It might mean for a good portion of the country, actually for both sides of the country, whether you red or blue, either side is going to take one big sigh of relief. The other side is just going to be angry as hell. And that's it. Now, there are people out there in the streets, and they're seeing on their telly, little telly, that the electoral votes are really leaning towards, like, Biden is about to cross the 270 mark. A lot of people are turning red, literally, with anger, because they went out of their way to vote for somebody that they believed in. And of course, things have been very, very passionate for the past 4 years. Things have been very emotional, very extremely visceral. Like the anger through when they're out there in the streets is palpable. You can feel it. So they're seeing these numbers on NBC, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, whatever they're seeing the numbers at. They're seeing that their leader that they're hoping that is going to be reelected is not being reelected, or looks like he's not crossing the line right now. And there's a good possibility he may get the L. And that angers a lot of people. A lot of people. Understandably. In fact, I was just saying this before the show, but it looks like a lot of the people that are sitting on the couch commenting and making their comments about people out there, like liberals going out in the streets and SJWs going out in the street, streaming their liberal tears, and then them getting melting these social these delicate little snowflakes. They're the ones that are sitting on the street on the couch, that are used to sitting on the couch saying these damn liberals. Now they're out in the streets. Now they're at voting facilities, protesting, wearing their MAGA hats and throwing up Trump flags. Funny how quickly the table turns, y'all. We got to go into a quick commercial break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking about these electoral votes, where we're at, and all that stuff. So stick around. And of course, if this is your first time checking out this show, please, I urge you, please, please, please hit that like button down below. And also, hey, why don't you do this for me? Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, okay? I do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I also do a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday show. We're going to be doing some call-ins tonight. So you got to tune in at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, because if you want your voice heard, you want to have a conversation, you want to have a good conversation with me, why not? Hit that subscribe button and join the Pascal Show family. We'll be right back. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
You're going to perform
tonight.
I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Imagination, Image a World. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce. Yeah, baby.
Hey, it's Mike from Sugar Fire. Still open all of our locations. Carry out, delivery, curbside. Call in. We're delivering outside of our range too. So if you get hungry, come on by.
You're watching Pascal in the Morning.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation today. Like I always say, if this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that like button right down below. And also, please go crush that subscribe button. We are marching our way to 25,000 subscribers. So we would love to have you guys a part of the conversation, a part of the family. So please go hit that subscribe button. As I said before our break, we do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I also do a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So we will be on tonight talking about God knows what else is going to be popping off. I'm sure there's going to be some new information in regards to some of the other states, because apparently, allegedly, we should be getting some more information here soon in regards to Pennsylvania. I think we're supposed to find out some stuff tonight about Pennsylvania. We're supposed to find out some information about Georgia. I think about like 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So, of course, we will be breaking those pieces of information as we go. So don't be shy. Hit that subscribe button and be a part of the conversation. Anyway, moving on. I mean, of course, we got to talk about these things that are going on as far as like where we are with numbers, because there's a whole lot of numbers going on. So we got to talk about it, y'all. We definitely got to talk about it. You know what I mean? The numbers have not changed, at least as far as NPR. NPR is a little bit ahead of like CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, NBC News, CBS News, all of them. For some odd reason, I still don't know why NPR is ahead in regards to the numbers. But this is how it is so far, y'all. I'm just going to show it to you. Bang. Biden's at 264. This is what we saw last night. The numbers have not changed. So Biden's at 264 and Trump is still trailing behind at 214. Now, I don't understand why NPR is showing that, but then you go to like NBC or you go to CBS News or you go to ABC News, CNN, any mainstream media outlet, they're saying that Biden's at 254, 253, something like that. And Trump is at 213, 214. So I don't know why this is so ahead. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why. You were saying, what were you saying, David?
NPR is just always, in my opinion, they're generally more accurate and more ahead of all the other news sources. So it's not really a surprise.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, but I'm glad that we got a little, like we could see this and we're seeing like a little bit ahead of the curve, ahead of everybody else. Because I know for a fact that that's what I've been looking at countless over and over and over again, like countless times. Because remember the election night? I mentioned this on the show that night, you know, when I was in my nice little suit and everything, all red, white, and bluish and everything. I said, I don't get why there is a why the numbers are all different on all channels. I was looking at CNN. CNN was way ahead of Fox News. Fox News was way ahead of CNN. Fox News at one point was saying that Biden had 90-something electoral votes and Trump had was trailing behind at 70. Whereas CNN was like, oh, he only has 50-some-odd votes and Trump only has 30. You see what I'm saying? It was some weird stuff that was going on. So I'm thankful that there is NPR and we're able to look at that and see what's really going down. You know, I trust NPR just like my brother David trusts NPR because he trusts it. I trust it because it is fairly accurate and it's showing where we're at. You know what I'm saying? And I think right now it is as fairly accurate as we can get to. Now, Mr. G just said, come on, Pascal. Come on, Mr. Pascal. They have their own biases. Now, you know what? Every platform has their own biases. That's very, very true. Actually, let's look that up. Let's look at the media political spectrum real quick. Where does NPR lie? That's what I'd like to know. The media bias chart. Skadoosh. Let's see where NPR stands, because that is something that would be good to know. NPR. NPR is a centrist. NPR is central. Let me show it to you guys so you can see it for your own with your own papers, y'all. Because Mr. G Tootle said something very true. That's a good question. It's right there. Just so you know, bang. They are central. So they may be central but lean a little bit towards the left or right. You never know. Let me see what I can find here. NPR, where is that? Dang, it's like buried. It's a little left. It's central, but it's a little left. So there you go. What were you going to say, David?
Yeah, Media Bias Fact Check is another one I use. It also has them slightly left with very high factual reporting, which is the highest they can be rated.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So there you go. There you go. So I appreciate that question, though, that comment, because that's stuff that we do need to have. You know what I mean? Just to make sure we're looking at something that's fairly even, fairly in the middle, because, we could pick some other hard left channel and they can make some other BS. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that they'd be like, oh, Trump already won. I mean, Biden already won. I don't know what you're talking about. Or Trump already won because we're looking at, say, some hard right-winged page. You know what I mean? So I feel like we try to keep it fairly simple or fairly even as far as that goes. NPR, I feel like, is a safe bet. So right now, he's still at 264. Apparently, we're going to find out some more information by noon or 11 a.m. my time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But once we find out that information, of course, we will most definitely be talking about it on the show. I might do another pop-up stream. If something huge breaks, I will be on streaming live. And hopefully David has time to be a part of it so we can talk about it, laugh about it, cry about it, whichever it is. Hold each other's hands virtually. You know what I mean? Like I'm holding his hand right now.
A little kumbaya.
You know what I mean? So there we go. Not everyone or every place is straight funky. That is true. You're only going to get it right here at the Pascal Show. I'm the only one that's straight funky, all right? I go run for a couple miles and I come back and I'm straight funky. You know what I'm saying? I wear the same underwear for a month and I'm straight funky. So, anyway, CJM on Periscope said, so you guys are like Sweden or like Switzerland. I try. I got my own personal opinions. I know who I'd like to be voted in. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But at the same time, I like to keep the conversations fairly even, fairly. Obviously, I got my own opinions. I mean, it's hard to not put in your opinions when you're talking about things that are going on in the world. But at the same time, yeah. We try to keep it fairly even here. We try to. We try. So, of course, we got to keep it moving, talk about some other things, right? What else is going on in the world, David?
Let's see. Did we talk about Portland yet?
No, we have not. So that's the other protest that we need to talk about. For sure. Go ahead and speak on it, brother.
All right, so yesterday there were some riots going on in Portland. They were actually declared riots by the state.
Wow.
And the Oregon National Guard was actually activated to try and keep the widespread violence down, as the National Guard put it. And Guard members were deployed in their uniforms, and they were out in the streets until the riot declaration was rescinded shortly after 9 p.m. when some peace started to restore. But before that, 11 people had been arrested, and that included people with a rifle with a full magazine of ammunition, more magazines, an improvised explosive device, a knife, spray paint cans, and the official said he was wearing a tactical vest with ballistic plates. So that would stop ballistic plates would stop a high powered rifle. And the spokesperson for the Unified Command, Sergeant Kevin Allen, said in a video on Twitter that the rumors of an unmarked van being used to arrest people weren't true, which was a thing that was going around there. And the Multnomah, I can't really pronounce this, but the Multnomah County Sheriff released videos of or images of the weapons they took up. There's quite a few of them, really.
So, did they know who was protesting out in the streets? Or was it just same old story, just same old people, same old story, just a different day? You know what I'm saying?
They don't claim exactly who they were, but they point out, or they were part of a group they joined up with a group that started marching at 5 p.m. and met up with a Defend Democracy group at the waterfront. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office said members of the second group were seen smashing windows and vandalizing property.
Interesting.
Just that group name is really all we have. They didn't say much about the group itself.
Okay, and the group name one more time is what?
Defend Democracy.
Defend Democracy. Very interesting. Can you look that up real quick? I'm going to pull up this video, and I'm going to turn you down real quick. I want to see that for myself. Or I want to know what the hell is Defend Democracy, because that could be anything. That could be anyone. That could be anything. And it's crazy how many groups and followers are sorry, like members of groups, and how many groups are like just showing up out of nowhere. This is very interesting. But let's see this footage here real quick. Check this out for ourselves.
Developing right now, the National Guard deployed to a declared riot in the streets of Portland. Several businesses have already been damaged. Here's a live look at one of them in downtown Portland. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Deborah Knapp.
And I'm Steve Dunn. The riot started with two separate protests earlier in the day. We've seen Black Lives Matter signs, as well as signs that say, count every vote. We do have live team coverage for you tonight, covering those protests and the election. We start with K2's Joe English outside the Justice Center right now. Joe, what's the very latest from where you are?
We got away from the Justice Center because the protesters are on the move once again. That earlier declaration of a riot, that was rescinded about 9 o'clock. Things got kind of quiet. A relatively small group of protesters were hanging out across the street from the Justice Center. In the last hour, well, they went on the move again. So I want to show you what we can see from here. We've been trying to keep up with them, but we have seen the Unified Command out once again declaring an unlawful assembly. As far as we know, that is all that it has gotten to, but we're seeing sheriff's deputies, police officers, state troopers, and National Guard as well. So they are out here watching this latest development. Now let's go back to earlier this evening and show you what happened a few hours ago. Officials did declare that riot just before 7 o'clock tonight after reports of protesters vandalizing buildings and setting fires. From Chopper 2, we spotted hundreds of people in the streets of downtown. Officials counted at least 600, they tell us. Now, many of the protesters seem to scatter at the Unified Command showing up, as well as members of the Oregon National Guard moving in. We saw what we believe are members of the Oregon National Guard moving protesters off the street, back onto the sidewalk. And in another instance, officers pushed protesters down the street. And we know in the end had arrested at least 10 people. Now, that group we were just showing you had coincidentally met up with another rally and march that started on the other side of the river and made its way to Waterfront Park. That was the Count Every Vote rally that ended up being peaceful all the way through. What happens from here? Well, we could see a little more unrest as we are watching another group, relatively small group, make its way through the streets of downtown Portland. So we'll stay here, keep our eye on it.
Get ready
for now. It's Joe English. K2 News.
Yeah, let us know, Joe. Keep us posted. Thank you, sir. As Joe just
But wait,
mentioned, at least
there's more.
10 people have been arrested so far, according to the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office. And they tweeted out these photos saying they seized a loaded rifle
Whoa.
and several fireworks, knives, and spray paint cans tonight. They also say they arrested someone they believe threw a Molotov cocktail at officers.
We also spotted several businesses with broken windows. Our team coverage continues now with K2's Catherine Kissel. So where are you, Catherine?
Well, Deb, we're at Harvey Milk and 10th Street, right where Wild Fang is located. And this is a very well-known local business. And this was one of the businesses that was hit tonight in the vandalism. We want to show you a couple hours earlier. This is the spot where the Unified Command issued a riot. And right all around this corner, there's been so much vandalism. The windows have been smashed in. And I want to show you as part of this video that you're watching, so you see all the glass there. But then what we saw, and again, this is a testament to our city, is the people who came out and helped this business board up. I mean, within minutes of this vandalism happening, the people next door came out and they got their boards and they helped this business board up in case there's any other future damage tonight. We also saw over on 6th and Burnside, there's a local church that got hit, and it looks like the Roseland Theater also got hit as well. So several businesses in the southwest Portland area that got hit. And again, we can tell you, we were looking on Twitter to see if Wild Fang had made any comments. They said that they, in fact, were broken. They were vandalized. And it was amazing to see the response and people saying, look, what can we do? What can we do to help you? And this is something that we've heard from business owners all throughout the city, that they are getting the support from other business owners and from other people in Portland asking what they can do to give them some help. That is the latest from Southwest Portland. Catherine Kissel, K2 News.
Catherine, thank you. You mentioned business owners. The Portland Business Alliance sent out a statement tonight in response to the damage. They pointed out that many of the businesses still open in downtown Portland are trying to survive amid the coronavirus and calling the destruction unacceptable and not representing the exercise of free speech. They also called on local and state leaders to denounce the violence.
We'll continue to follow this breaking news all evening long and bring you updates live. For the latest one,
you know, it's nuts, y'all. It's nuts because Portland's already seen enough. You know what I'm saying? Hasn't baby Portland been spanked enough? Hasn't Portland learned their lesson? You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh. Like, it's almost like that whole leave Britney alone situation. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, leave Portland alone, y'all. Just like, leave Portland alone. Protesters, chill. Tranquilo. Por favor. Oi. It's terrible, y'all. This is, you know, there's a lot of, like they were saying, a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses are just getting destroyed. Getting destroyed. Countless times in Portland. It's terrible, yo. It's absolutely terrible. So, David, did you see anything about this whole Defend Democracy thizang? What this group is all about and what they stand for? Because I'd love to know, what side of the spectrum do they sit? Speak on it, brother.
Looks like the Defend Democracy group was formed for the protest specifically. It was basically a coalition of various just protest groups in the area. And they did protest Trump. They also had signs protesting local Democrats. But, most of what I saw was, they were focused on protesting Trump, but they definitely were targeting some of their local Democrat leaders as well.
Oh, they were targeting local. They were targeting local Democrat leaders as well.
Yeah, with their protests. I mean, not like physically, but.
So are they more center or are they left?
Seems they're
or are
more,
they center left?
Yeah, center left. I would say they seem to support Wheeler, so they are still.
Have mercy. Okay.
Democrat. They were
okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, basically the ones they were protesting some of Wheeler's opponents as well. So they do seem to be supporting. I think he's a Democrat. I'm pretty sure he's a Democrat.
Okay.
But I'm not positive.
Interesting, because Enemy Nation just said something. The right doesn't use the term democracy as much, and that's true. That's a good point. Much less in their names. Facts. That's very, very true. But it's interesting that they're saying that there were not only just people out here throwing, not only just left were out there. There were also people out there holding signs saying count every vote. And my assumption, obviously, since we've only been seeing it on the conservative side, on the red side, is we've been seeing that very plaque or flyer, banner being held up in the air. Now, I can see, but I can also see people going out who want every vote to be counted that are Biden supporters. I can see that too. So in regards to those people who are holding those signs up that are saying count every vote, that could be anybody. Real talk. Because, the message is very confusing right now because you got Trump supporters out there saying count every vote. But then Trump saying stop every vote. You know what I mean? He's saying stop counting votes. But then there are Trump supporters out there chanting the exact opposite. And they are holding signs that are saying count every vote or count the vote. But I can see Biden supporters sit there going, no, count every vote. So you never know who's holding those. Shoot, man. You just don't know, brother. Damn. You just don't know. You never know, y'all. Ain't that about a ish? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, this is what it is. This is the world we live in. This is the pot we are pissing in. This is the bed we made. So, but at the same time, in Portland, there are a lot of Trump supporters that are out there as well. There's a lot of Antifa out there. There's a lot of BLM. There's a lot of everything out there. Seems like I feel like it's what's that movie, The Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, can you dig it? You know what I mean? I feel like there's just all these groups that are all together in one city, but the Warriors need to get through. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. If I feel like it's that. Now there's a Defend Democracy freaking group. You know what I'm saying? There was moms against whatevers, dads against whatever. Like, there's all these groups that are just suddenly formulating, just by having and they're part of that group if they have a sash tied around their bicep. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what it is. What it seems like it's coming to. And Portland seems to be ground zero for that. It's the Warriors movie. You know what I mean? Wolverines. Yep. Can you dig it? You know what I mean? Come on, baby. Crazy, right? So true, right? We're in this is a weird time. This is a very, very weird time. In fact, somebody needs to make a movie like The Warriors, but set it in today's time in Portland. Literally. With all this stuff that's going on, this should be a freaking movie, man. It really should be.
Could be.
Could be.
We have all the main groups are like, that's where all the accusations of Antifa activity, that's where the Proud Boys activity started and everything. Just the perfect place for this gang movie.
Yeah, I just all this craziness, all this stuff, all this BS is killing me. You know what I mean? But then, I'm thankful because it's something to talk about. Let's be real. Let's be real. Without this stuff, there would be no show. There would be nothing to talk about. It would be like, so how's everything in Colorado, David? And you'd be like, everything's good. My dog is dope. Great.
Yeah.
That's the show, everybody. Bye. Like, that'd be it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I guess we'll talk. I'll take this. It's something to talk about. Mr. G Tootle just said we need more Cheech and Chong. Yeah, I feel like we do a little bit. We do need to have some more lightheartedness, a little bit more togetherness. I think, a little bit more people just stoned out of their minds who just don't give a damn. Just a little bit. Everyone just do one big Dutch oven and just call it a day. Everybody would be like, man, I just want some Doritos, man. I just want some Doritos.
That would be the first president that wins easily, is the one that promises to just completely decriminalize or like make weed legal, just straight up.
Straight up, just legal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just straight up Oprah. You get weed, you get weed, you get weed, everyone gets weed. Everybody. That'd be amazing. Come on. Everybody will be high as hell and happy. You know what I'm saying? But this country would be fat as hell too. Let me just say that. Because everybody would be having munchies, eating the hell out of stuff. You feel me?
Yeah.
Do that. You know? Straight up. Straight up. But anyway. But he's got a point there. Everybody just needs to chill. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, just take this edible, man. You pop it. Whoa, that's like the most weed I've ever seen anybody ever take, man. You know what I'm saying?
Need a new Cheech and Chong for the election.
You know what I'm saying? You took the whole thing, man? Oh, man. That's the most weed I've ever seen anybody take, man. Wow, man. It's the worst Cheech I've ever done in my whole entire life. But anyway.
You tried.
I tried. It was the worst ever. I mean, that was spur of the moment. Please forgive me. Moving on. So, yes, protests in Portland. What else is new? Anyway, that's what's been going on, y'all. That's what's been going on. We obviously still don't know what the hell is going on as far as the elections go. We obviously have found out as far as what Trump is proceeding to do, which is putting out his lawyers are going after Michigan and all these other states, asking for them to basically demand these recounts. So we might not have a definitive, absolute. I promise I'll stay away from the Cheech, bruh. I promise, Mr. G. I promise. I'm sorry. And Dorito. See, I'm thinking. He said Biden. Dorito just said Biden won by a landslide. I will toke for you, brother. You know what? Thank you. And yes, please take the biggest rip off your bong for me. The tallest bong you have in your house. Put a couple cubes of ice in there and just rip a huge one for me. All right. And when you exhale, you say, Pascal show. Like that. And you are not allowed to cough. You cannot cough. Anyway, as I was saying. I forgot what I was freaking saying. Exactly. And I haven't even hit the bong. What was I saying? Damn.
I don't know.
Contact high. That's what happened. Contact high. No. So the thing is, we don't know what's going on. That he is basically going to be challenging and contesting for every single state that's being lag right now. He's going to challenge every single one. Now also he is trying to, of course, he's asking for Michigan and Wisconsin to do recounts and all that. I still think that, and those states are still leaning blue, or those states are blue, but I think that Trump is going to be saying, I want the recount because I guarantee you if we do that recount, I'm going to get Wisconsin and Michigan. I don't entirely agree. I think things have changed. The times have changed. People are talking. People are freaking annoyed and pissed off with how he's been running the country, and they want to see a change. That's what I think. There's also a lot of blue-collar, hardworking Americans that live in that area that are not with jobs right now because of the coronavirus, because of that. So there's not a whole lot going on that is allowing people to make the monies, to secure them bags, yo. So because they can't do that, they're upset. And they're going, well, we need more. We need work. We can't go and work in said job that we have because of people getting sick. Or their work is just limited where they can only work a certain amount of hours a day or a certain amount of days a week, and then constantly getting tested every other week because, they can't walk into work COVID positive. So I could see a lot of people in Michigan and Wisconsin voting for Biden. I can see that for sure. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that if they were to recount, do you think that they would, do you think that we would have a different result as far as the recount on those two states, at least those two states?
Wisconsin and which one?
Michigan.
No, I don't think Michigan will change from a recount. Wisconsin's possible just because of how very close it is. It's less than 20,000 votes different, and around 40,000 votes were for third party alone. So third party got more votes than the difference here. It's very small at 20,000. They say they have 99% in right now, but you never know because that is a guess on their part. There could be more ballots. There could be more things in the mail that they have to count that they weren't aware of. Like if it's postmarked for before November 3rd, I believe in Wisconsin they have to count it. But from what it looks like, with that 20,000 margin, it's unlikely it would change, but it's definitely possible if they found votes. Because 20,000 isn't really a whole lot based on how many have they've pulled out of post offices recently. But if they're accurate and that they got most of theirs counted, there probably won't be a change.
Okay. Fair enough. But the only question I pose is, how is it possible that if they were to recount, that they would be possibly 20,000 or plus votes off? That would be insane.
Because they would have to go through a second validation process as well, where they would check the signatures and everything. Different people decide which ones are valid. And on top of that,
good point. I think it's also Arizona and I think Wisconsin, Arizona. There's certain states that do not have automatic recount, if I'm correct. Now, Zozo Bob said Wisconsin. I also heard this morning something about Arizona not having an automatic recount process or whatever. Clause, I guess, for lack of a better term. But that is very interesting, right? You know what? I'm going to do this. It's something I haven't done in a long time. It's time for Let's Talk.
Now you've got to be kidding me.
He needs some milk.
And in Let's Talk today, we got to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm opening up the phone lines. Give us a call at 314-766-4581. Give us a quick comment on what your thoughts are on what's going on in the election and everything. What do you think? Do you think that if they do recount, do you think that the results are going to be different? Or you think that the results are going to remain the same? Give us a call, 314-766-4581. Drop a dime, throw in a quick thought, quick soundbite. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Let's have a quick little discussion about what's going on, But that's the thing. If they were to do a recount, would it really drastically change? Would the numbers drastically change? Would it suddenly go, oh my gosh, no, that it was 50,000 that were to Trump?
If we look at Georgia, they have a similar situation in that they have a lot more votes with a total of about 5 million here, with a difference of 14,000 votes. With a total of 5 million in Georgia, which is where they're still counting. They still have it listed as 99%. So that might be another interesting place, though we don't have the final results yet to even talk about a recount.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what I mean? Yes. And then also I did hear about broken pipes as well. Mr. G just said something that was interesting. Mr. Super said Wisconsin is a recount within 1%. Michigan is automatic recount within 2,000 votes or requested or paid for by the opponent. Very interesting. But, you know, they got enough money. Their campaigns have enough money. So they could very well go and say, hey, I want to recount right now. I don't care. Y'all going to do it. Here's some money. Recount. But that's very interesting. But then I also, Mr. G. Tootle just said this. I also noticed or heard about this as well, that there were broken pipes in Georgia. Do you hear about this?
No.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Because I don't want to misquote or anything. Broken pipes.
Mr. Super said that Wisconsin has to do a recount within 1%, and they're within 7.7% right now, so that would fall under the recount.
Wait, they're at what percentage?
0.7%.
Oh,
difference.
0.7%. Okay, sorry. I thought you said 7%, like 7.7%. And I was like, no, it wouldn't. That would be that's a done deal. They wouldn't have to recount. But that would be interesting if at the end result, it stays at 0.7%. That'd be crazy. How thin. You know what I'm saying? How thin that line is. Let's see. Hold up. Yeah, there was a busted pipe. I gotta put. Is this recent? Dang. Hold on, I'm trying to find the. Trying to find it. Yeah, in Fulton County, the election results were delayed after a pipe burst in a room with ballots. Real freaking talk.
Yeah, I didn't hear about that at all. That's definitely a problem.
Crazy, right? There was a flooding from a burst pipe that delays absentee ballot count in Georgia. The New York Post talked about this. The New York Post talked about this. Up to 60,000 absentee Georgia votes not counted due to a burst pipe. On God.
Well, that would change it.
That would change a lot of things. A pipe burst in an Atlanta arena causing a 4-hour delay. In processing ballots. Sorry, it was still thinking. Gotta love this internet.
That would be enough to swing the election.
That'd be enough. I mean, but it's in Atlanta. And Atlanta is a heavily blue area. Heavily Democrat. Heavily. Now, if everybody there decided to go, we're voting Trump, which is a good possibility too. I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not a possibility. But I doubt that they were going in there and all 60,000 votes were all Trump. I doubt it.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would sway as much. I think it would only push Biden forward. As far as the popular vote. But go ahead. Sorry.
Well, he's not winning Georgia right now. So that would give him Georgia because
yeah, you're right.
He is
you're
behind
right.
by 15,000 votes right now.
15,000?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're absolutely right. My bad. That was my mistake. But imagine a flooding from a pipe bursting. How convenient in a place where they're holding all those absentee ballots for Atlanta. How interesting, right? How very, very interesting.
I mean, mean, that's huge. That will. How many was it again?
60,000. 60. Not 16, 6D. 60K, right?
That would easily change it either way. So without those votes, it's unpredictable what Georgia's going to do right now.
Extremely fascinating, my brothers. Could that be Russia? No, I'm kidding. I don't even know who it is. I don't know how that's happening, but that's real. Pipe burst in Atlanta, delaying everything 4 hours. Place flooded. And it was the place that was holding all the absentee ballots. All of them. 60,000 plus votes were in that room. In a flooded room. How very convenient something like that would pop off. Just think about it.
Hopefully they already processed them to the point where they know who sent them at least, and then they can try to get it back.
I mean, I'm praying to the sweet baby Jesus that's the truth, like that. You're right, but God knows. You never know. Shoot, man, they're sitting there going, oh, black Sharpies, using Sharpies are not valid. Suddenly, that's a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. I thought I forgot I was supposed to use it with a number 2 pencil. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? Like suddenly that's not okay. Like these new rules that are coming out of the woodwork are ridiculous. Ridiculous. Crazy. But that's some real stuff. Phone lines are still open though, guys. 314-766-4581. Give me a call. Let us talk about some things. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm saying we got to talk. Give me a call. Love to hear your thoughts on all this stuff. Also, I got some really cool information next week, and I'm going to be repeating this for the next couple, for the next 2 shows. But next week is going to be a little bit different. So I'm just going to let you guys know about this. I've already made the announcement that I'm going to be going and interviewing Roy Jones Jr. He is coming out of retirement to fight Mike Tyson at the end of this coming month. I am going to be doing an exclusive interview with him where I get to sit down with him, etc. Hopefully I get to train with him. I don't know if I am, but I'm hoping I'm going to be able to just kind of hang out with him, chop it up, get some information about the fight, what his thoughts are about the fight, you name it. So next week is going to be a little difficult because not all of next week, but Monday and Tuesday are going to be a little tough because that's when I'm going to be doing the interviews and everything. So I just wanted to let you guys know I'm very excited. First off, I can't wait to come back and be able to share this interview and share this whole thing with you guys. But it's going to be a big one. It's a big interview, and I can't wait to share it. I haven't even shot it yet, but I can't wait to share it already because this one's going to be fire. So when it's ready, when it's done, you're going to see that. Also, I got something coming up in the very near future, it looks like in the next couple weeks with a UFC fighter that is going for a very big bout here in the middle of December, but I can't really disclose any of that information quite yet, but I'm very excited about that one as well. That should be a really good time. But yes, like I said, Roy Jones Jr., I'm going to be sitting down, chopping it up with him next week. So next week's shows are going to be a little funky. I probably won't be doing a show Monday and Tuesday. It looks like I'll be doing a show maybe Wednesday, or it might be Wednesday night. But I just wanted to let you guys know about that because I'm very excited about that. So we got a phone call. Let's get this real quick. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, it's Enemy.
What's up, Enemy? What's up, man? What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I think the Biden camp is more nervous than Trump.
Okay.
And I think Trump's going to pull it out either with the election results or the courts. There's still about 50,000 absentee ballots per state from the military that haven't showed up yet. So, it's going to be interesting. But at the end of the day, I don't think Biden has enough to overcome what he has to overcome.
Gotcha. So you're saying that the military absentee votes have not come in at all? Not one vote from the military at all?
No, they update them every so often. The overseas military votes, because you have certain absentee ballots from recently transferred military members. But that's in the states. That's in the continental United States. But outside the United States, overseas, they still have ballots. Per state, it's about 50,000 roughly per state. So you got that could certainly swing Nevada, and I think Trump challenged like 4 or 5 states. So all he has to do is maintain his lead that he has in these states and win, one of the 5 states he's challenged. And, that could either go through the Supreme Court, which is a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court. And, there you have it. I mean, you got issues in Wisconsin. You have issues in Michigan where I know it's like 150,000 ballots, but I think it was about that much that shot up when they went dark. So these challenges are very serious to a conservative court. You know what I mean? Because those conservatives, they don't like rule changes in the 11th hour. So, Trump approved or confirmed 300 federal judges all over the U.S. So he has avenues in each state to where he don't even have to reach the Supreme Court. So he can invalidate a ton of ballots. You have well documented issues from the Pew Research of about 25 million invalidated voting things in the United States. You got people that have died that have voted, so on and so forth. So they're going to go through every state with a fine-tooth comb. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think the strategy for the Biden camp was even to win the election. And then you got the FBI probe into the Biden family right now. So there's a whole lot of, you have a what's that thing called? The vaccine that's coming. So by the time this all hits the fan, like in 2000, when George Bush was finally declared the winner, everybody was kind of like, meh, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't see, Trump is in power right now. The Republicans are in power. And so they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep it. There's a lot of people's jobs on the line. You got Bill Barr's job on the line, head of the Department of Justice.
Right.
You have head of the FBI, head of the CIA, head of all these federal control institutions. They're going to get to the heart and bottom, because if Trump's out, they out. So, it's going to be interesting to see. So, my call was really just to say that. I mean, I hadn't uploaded any video about it, but my birthday was yesterday, so I was chilling with the wife. You know what I'm saying?
Happy birthday, brother. Happiest of birthdays, man.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Anytime, man. No, and you know what? You have a very good point. There are still, like, that is true. Not only just because the military thing is a very interesting piece of information, but as far as the other mail-in ballots, like, yeah, they're still counting. They're still looking at all these ballots and all this stuff. So there's still a lot to wait on. And yeah, as I keep saying right now, and I said on yesterday's show, you never know. You never know who's going to win. Right now, Biden looks like he's in the lead, but you never know. This is kind of like what happened with Hillary in 2016, except it only took a night. But you saw her in the lead, and then all of a sudden he just came in from the back, just like a surprise ending. You know what I'm saying? So, as a surprise twist to the story. And I feel like that is a good possibility. But also, we can't deny the fact that the other possibility could be inevitably saying that Biden is winning. Just saying that out loud. That is still a good possibility as well. But weirder things have happened. This is 2020. You never know what's going to happen. But, Enemy, thank you so much for the call, brother. All right?
Yeah, anytime, man.
Happy birthday.
Right, take care.
You too. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Peace.
Bye. Thanks.
But, Enemy Nation had a very good point. Enemy has a very good point. There's a lot of possibilities still on the line. I do find it very interesting that the military ballots have not come in. I find that weird. I do find that very weird. What are you going to say, David?
Yeah, I was looking at the Military Times. They are reporting that there's a lot to go into North Carolina and Nevada still. They're mostly from, it seems, absentee ballots for people deployed, so you can't always get the planes to take off when you want or anything even. So that's probably where a lot of the delay comes from. All mail, in the deployed area has to, at first has to be checked by security, then it has to be processed, then it has to go into one plane, then it has to fly to America, and then it has to start getting dispersed to the right states. So there's definitely a possibility in Nevada and some of these very close places that it could swing that. He's very right.
It's just weird that that is something that's coming in now. You see what I'm saying? It's just weird to me that that's coming in at the last minute. Shouldn't have those things been around a long time ago, like the day of? You know what I'm saying? Why is it swooping in now? That seems suspect. To me, that's suspect as hell. Suddenly, military. Oh, we forgot the military votes. What? So now we got another week probably of them sifting through all that stuff as well. Like, what the hell, y'all? That's just weird. To me, that's weird. To me, that seems fishy. That's just me. That's fishy as hell.
It looks like that some states, like Florida, will accept absentee ballots until November 13th because of the possible delays. So a lot of states accept them much longer than November 3rd. And the Count Every Hero, which is a program to make sure deployed and military votes count, calculated that 75% of the available votes in the Electoral College will come from states that will count military ballots after the election day. So,
fabulous.
So, yep.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Just saying that out loud. Fabulous. That's what I mean. This is when the moments seem suspect. Moments like these little moments. Oh, yeah. We're going to, the thing won't be until the 13th of such and such. And, we're going to hold this out until this, that, and the third. That seems suspect as hell. Suspect. Doesn't matter on what side it ends up leaning on. Still suspect as hell. That part is suspect. But anyway. That's just weird. That's just weird. You know?
Kind of makes sense. I mean, the mail planes can't take off if there's people with like man pads in the air. If anyone has missiles, it could be locked down for days before they can take off if there's danger in the area.
No, and I understand that, but why would it be, every single vote? You see what I'm saying? All votes, all of them, all military votes? That's just weird. I feel like some of those things would have been done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, I've been saying this and I keep making a joke about it, but, we might not know anything until Christmas. We might not have a full answer to, especially if they're going to be duking it out and all that in court and there's going to be recounts and everything. We might not know for a good long time if it keeps going this way, because it's going to be, the military. Let's not forget these people too. We got these other mail-in ballots that are still coming in that aren't coming in until the 13th. Bruh.
This is interesting. In 2016, there were 382,000 absentee ballots counted from U.S. citizens overseas. And we saw pretty much all of our voting numbers double. So if the overseas doubled as well, that would be 800,000 absentee ballots still to come in. So it's going to take a while.
I'm done. That'd be funny. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see what happens with that. Now that we know a little bit of that, and if it doubled, and you're saying 800,000, a little under 1 million votes, that's a lot of votes to be counting, and that aren't counted for too. And I'm not surprised. I hate to generalize, but I feel that a majority of those votes are going to lean Trump.
Yeah, I would say generally Army Marines are very red-leaning, and you might see more left-leaning in the Air Force, and the Navy's kind of in between. But it's definitely overall red-leaning.
Mm-hmm. So it's gonna be an interesting time. But anyway, we got to get going. David, thank you so much for being on, my brother.
I'm glad to be here. Still falling asleep.
Oh man, yeah, and get well. You know what I'm saying? Drink plenty of fluids. You know, hopefully your mom made sent you some, I don't know, some chicken noodle soup or something. You know what I'm saying? Get that mama's chicken noodle soup. You feel me? But I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about whatever the hell's going on, because there's a lot going on. Obviously, we're going to have more information, more news. We'll probably get a few more votes, electoral votes added on to most likely Trump's side. So because there's some results that are going to be popping off here very, very soon with Georgia. If I'm correct, they should be making an announcement around noon today, Eastern Standard Time. So right about now. So we will be on the lookout for that. I'll be keeping my eyes and ears to the TV screen and to the social medias to make sure we're not missing anything. But, you know, we might jump on a random pop-up live here if there's anything breaking during the middle of the day. But I will be on tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time to talk about things, cover everything, and maybe get some phone calls in as well. All right. So anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys 7 p.m., if not sooner, Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. For more information, call us now.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Imagination. Image a world. IDEX Media.
Awesome sauce.